music, Patrick Macnee. I have to say, I started watching the Avengers. I was a little young to see it when it originally was running. I was watching reruns of it, probably in the early 1970s, my local Boston station, and this show floored me. It was an amazing program because it was funny, it was scary at the same time, but also the clothes that Diana Rigg wore. Just incredible. I mean, I didn't think you could see that on television. I mean, the leather unitards, the incredible. Back me up here, guys. They were amazing outfits. Don't make. I sound like a pervert babbling on here alone. I want some company here.
Emma Peel, yeah.
I love the use of the word unitards. I've never heard that word before. It's great.
I've thought about this a lot.
But you know, yes.
I've looked it up.
It's very important to share sexual deviations, I think. It's when you're alone that it's so depressing.
I didn't think I had deviated, but I think that's healthy.
There's a great deal of difference between leather and rubber. Rubber is obscene and smells. Leather is an animal. It's a second skin. And if you put it on the naked body of a woman, it's remarkably effect. You don't need to take it off.
You've given this more thought than I have, clearly.
I've had...
Several things fascinated me.
A lot longer to think about it.
Several things that fascinated me about this show. One is that something that I always loved about your character is that you never seem to exert yourself. No. That John Steed, whenever there's a fight, it's Emma Peel who immediately starts leaping into action and doing flips and judo, and you would move from side to side and jab with your umbrella.
Yeah. Well, I'm totally non-physical, and I was very relieved to hear... he's talking about 35 years ago. Mm-hmm. Now, only last year, I went down to Pinewood Studios and met Ralph Fiennes, who is playing the part of John Steed.
In the remake...
well, but hardly call it a remake. It's a brand-new, mammoth, Hollywood, big movie starring him. And I looked at him in this bowler hat and umbrella. I was there for the whole week, and it was lovely. And I thought that it's not going to work in the 90s. But he insisted it was right, and with the umbrella. And then I said to him...
You mean he's not going to pull a gun or anything like that? He's just going to use...
The most important thing is he doesn't even carry a gun. You see, in 1960, I just finished in the Second World War, they said you carry a gun. Well, there's a great deal of difference, isn't there, between a man with a gun and a man without a gun. They're two different people. And I said, I won't carry a gun.
Yeah.
And then, to my astonishment, I said to him, what about the gun? He said, no gun. Well, I fell in love with him right away, you know.
But in a real fight, I would choose the guy with the gun over the guy with the umbrella. I mean...
Do you know, I honestly don't agree with you. I promise you, because to just carry an umbrella needs brains, and you have to think about it.
Okay.
To carry a gun, as I say, I went through the whole of the Second World War. I saw a great deal of my friends blown to bits. Now, I don't know whether any of you, or you, have seen anyone blown to bits. I have. So consequently, when I see, like we saw today, the things of the school, these kids in schools, shooting their classmates at 13, when Ralph Fiennes said, no gun. Now, they go out, here's a fight with Sean Connery, who plays the villain, and they have a fight halfway up Big Ben, which is frightening enough anyway. Neither of those human beings has a gun. So the main hazard is, do they fall off? And I think that is the way it should be now. I just long for people to just take hold of a gun and fire it close to another person. How dare you do a thing like that? And yet here we are in these awful television shows made by these dreadful people, bringing people on with guns. I mean it.
I should point out that none of the shows you're talking about are on NBC.
No, in fact... My son used to do Evening at the Improv on NBC. I mean, I love NBC, and...
I was kidding. I don't love them. Just kidding.
You have a different approach.
Yeah, but what I saw when I saw the trailer for the Avengers, and it's right, you don't see guns, but it works. It still looks very exciting. The way that they've cut it.
I really hope it will, if they can get away with it.
Now you're going to do you're doing a cameo in this movie, is that right? You're making an appearance.
They kind of wanted to keep it a secret, and I really don't make an appearance.
Oh, I guess I just screwed something up then.
No.
I just heard that. I don't have any inside track.
You're not screwing it up
at
all. No, they told me not to talk about it, which I'm very happy to do. I'm kind of an influence on it. I wouldn't say that I appear.
Right.
Because now you can do all sorts of things, you know, with green screen. I've played so many invisible parts lately, and the name of this, I won't say. I won't say because it's quite fun.
Okay, and I was curious about something. We were talking earlier about Star Trek, the show Star Trek.
Oh, I love
I understand that you've been going to Star Trek conventions now.
I went to one in Pasadena only the other day. 15,000 people coming through, and I've just written a book called The Avengers and Me. I signed 500... Oh, there it is.
Yes.
I signed 5...
That's why you're here, yeah.
Oh, see, no, it isn't, you know. I hate to disagree with you. The reason I'm here is that they are reissuing... Oh, no, they are issuing cassettes of The Avengers, so on A&E. And thank God for it, because for many years they were pirated, you know, in stores. You'd find them in the bottle of some video store.
Right.
And I thought, oh, they're there. And then I suddenly realized I have a small percentage of this show. They're illegal. I found they were illegal, and I fought with my friend, my accountant friend, for about 20 years, what we used to call the pirates. And they said, oh, don't be ridiculous, it's in the public domain. Anyway, the long and short, and I won't bore you, we managed to get that copyright back. It took us 3 years in the courts in the United States. I won't mention the names of the pirates, but they're pretty well-known pirates. Anyway, we won, and A&E are bringing them out next month.
Oh, it's a great series. I watched a bunch of them.
Well, who saw them? Digitally restored.
Yeah. Well, we have this one right here. When we found out that you were coming on, they gave me like 2 or 3 of these, and I went right home and watched them back to back.
Oh, I'm so pleased that you did. But
yeah.
That's why I really came on. No, I'm glad I've written the book, but I really came on.
You also came on because you're a big fan of this show.
I love this show, yes.
I just threw that in. I had no idea. I'm just fishing.
Quite right.
Good save. The book, The Avengers and Me, is out right now. And, of course, the video cassettes. People should look for those because it really is an unusual series. I don't think there's ever been one quite like it, and I think people would enjoy it that aren't familiar with the show. Patrick Macnee, thank you very much for coming by. It's good to have you. Shane McGowan and the Pulse coming up. We will see you in a second. Evening. I do want to thank all my guests. Stay tuned for later. We will see you tomorrow. Good night.